And I'm somebody who believes in second chances, but I'm not somebody who believes in third and fourth chances. But we have an entire generation of people who are coming out of stays in prison who are having a hard time getting a job. And I think that's something that's incumbent upon our state to start to work towards. And I think we can get it done. And I think that would be a very, very important step for us. And I was proud to support it.
Well, that's not an issue that is directly related to the State Treasurer's Office. I can say that I personally serve on the board of the Ray of Hope, which is a local nonprofit that helps women that have drug and alcohol issues get their life back on track. And my husband and I had a little boy that we brought into our home for about close to a year, who's still in our life, but both his parents were addicted to drugs, and they made some very poor choices. And I think all of us know someone that's been affected by drugs and alcohol. I really personally feel that we really need to look at the children. And the way the law is written right now, it's reunification of the family. And my experience is that isn't always the best way to do it. And I think we need to reevaluate how we're doing things, and multiple chances, and keeping children in that kind of situation, and see if that's really what's best for the child. Thank you.
You know, growing up in southern West Virginia, you always get, and I could say it's a generational thing, but it really ain't. You know, I know people as old as 65 has been addicted to drugs. But let's get one thing clear too. It's not just prescription drugs, folks. We have the worst heroin epidemic that anybody's ever seen in a long time. Meth and all that. And our solutions to fix it, you know, are let's give them another drug. Let's give them methadone. Let's give them Suboxone. And those drugs are needed when the person's coming off of their drugs. I agree, but there's new infrastructure made in this. Like these guys have said, there's organizations and homes and everything. We need to look into that. You know, if somebody gets caught with an amount of drugs and they're 16 years old and their family don't have a good home life, well, you know, we put them in, we give them a felony, their life's ruined pretty much. And it's tough. It's tough for people to get back from that. I'm a law guy, law and order guy, but restructuring for young people and trying to get more kids involved. And I'll go back to education. Educating people on that is a big deal. But there's also, you know, other ways. There's a new drug called Vivitrol I was reading about. It's supposed to have a very good success rate, and it's supposed to knock out your dopamine receptors and stuff like that, and it's supposed to be really good for the public. Ohio uses it now, and I think it will eventually bring its way down here. But, you know, it's up to the person, really. I've been around a lot of these guys, a lot of these people that are addicted, and it's up to the person. We just have to be there to help the person when they fall. Thank you.
That question's really two-faceted. We do have the mental health issue, and then we have the drug issue. As far as the mental health issue, there are needs. We don't have the doctors and facilities to address a lot of mental health. We are very rural community, and we can address that in some of the cities more than we can in some of the rural areas. So I think more access to rural mental health would help. But again, we have to go back to how do you fund it? How do you pay for it? We saw this week by the explosion of the Affordable Care Act that prices in the state really go 50% to some people. That's not really affordable anymore. So we really have to look at how we fund it. The other problem is the drugs. The drug addiction. We keep putting good money after bad. We're not tracking this on the state level as far as our success rates. The private facility in Huntington tracks and has an 87% success rate on recidivism. But as far as the state agencies, they keep getting our tax dollars, and there's no metrics put in place. And I just learned this at the end of last session. There's no metrics as to how these people are performing, how DNPHR is performing to get people off of drugs. So we need to set a level to measure, and then we can go towards that metric. But if we don't have anything to measure to, we're not going to get anything accomplished. So the other issue is the hopelessness. If you do drugs, you call you a violation, and you don't have a second chance. So I agree with Doug and Kusky here. We do need to have a second chance for non-violent offenders to say, hey, if you do drugs with your kid, and you get in trouble involving your kid, that maybe have a shot in the future and realize that is hopeless in the future. So thank you.
To members of the audience, we had several questions related to teacher pay, bringing quality teachers into the county. And I feel like we have covered that issue, but to the members of the audience, do you feel like we need to discuss that any further? I want to make sure you're satisfied that your question has been answered. Thank you.
That will conclude our question and answer session. In just a minute, we're going to give each of you 3 minutes to make a closing statement. There was one candidate that was here, or was not here tonight, and asked for a representative, and a gentleman has a letter for a particular candidate that wasn't here. So if you want to do that first, then we'll go into our closing statements.
My name is Josh Sharp. I'm reading this on behalf of Rodney Miller. Hello everyone, my name is Rodney Miller, and I'm your candidate for West Virginia House of Delegates, representing the 23rd District, which takes up most of Boone County. Thank you for allowing me to send you some thoughts on this important election cycle. I certainly apologize for not being able to be with you tonight for the Meet the Candidates Forum. I am currently in Morgantown, West Virginia, meeting with various professors and researchers at West Virginia University in an effort to possibly bring university-level research centers to Boone County in southern West Virginia to create new and innovative ways to use what God has given us, our vast natural resources, specifically coal and its byproducts. My effort today is a meeting that I've been working on since April to develop ways to bring new ideas to the coal industry and coal country to get our population to work and make our county and region profitable again. I've been working for months to be able to bring ideas forward, which could help our struggling economy and our people. In making the decision to make this trip or be at the event, I did not take it lightly and blow off an appearance. I figured I could either be standing in Madison talking about somebody needs to do something, or I could be out working for you and actually trying to do something about our economic livelihood and diversity. This is a great opportunity. I am actively promoting the HOBET project to get industry into Boone County from a state level. If not today, in the very near future, I expect to hear good news about the project from our governor that things are moving forward on it. I decided that if I was fortunate enough for you to select me to represent you in the House of Delegates, I should begin to represent you and perform like one, and try to get things moving and get Boone County on the map for something good. Rather than all the bad headlines that we all constantly see in the news and on TV, I'm tired of seeing that we are better than the way we are becoming known for or portrayed in the news. I appreciate Nick Cavill and others for setting up this event, and I agree with his social media post promoting this meeting when he said, "It's easy to sit back and say woulda, shoulda, coulda. I couldn't look any of you in the eye tomorrow not having made this trip for this effort and think if I had just made the trip and made the effort, I would have, should have, or could have. Instead, I decided to work for you. I would like to briefly address the only issue that I've been attacked by from my opponent. That issue is being pushed that I am anti-gun or gun ownership. I have served as a deputy sheriff and your sheriff for over 30 years, a federal firearms licensed dealer, and sold guns for several years. I am a state-certified firearms training instructor who has taught handgun safety and provided handgun safety training at no cost for decades. Likely to many of you who may be here that have your concealed carry permit. I carried a weapon in my career for most of my natural life and owned several myself. I have personally witnessed the effects of a misused firearm. Own or carry as many as you like. I simply just want you to be safe with them. To try to make the point that I am anti-gun may be ridiculous, and all I can say is you know me better than that. I am like you, tired of the complaining and negativity that this election cycle has skewed. Boone County is better than all the way we are being portrayed. We have some issues, but I truly believe that if we all work together, good things will happen for us. Democrat, Republican, or Independent, it doesn't matter. The national party politics we have seen does not work for us here. I am tired of the hatred being pushed out. We are all in this and must work together for solutions. I am no stranger to the operations of the House of Delegates. I have worked with him for approximately the last 20 years. I have written and gotten past several pieces of legislation from creating a death, disability, and retirement system for law enforcement that they didn't have, to others relating to the safety and security of our citizens. I do not like watching our leaders in government be dysfunctional and wasteful as they have become. I am fully prepared to represent you full-time in the West Virginia legislature. I am walking into this knowingly and intelligently with an experienced background, fully aware of the challenges and tasks ahead of us as a state. I am not running for House of Delegates because someone talked me into it or put me up to it. I have no hidden agenda other than to make Boone County and West Virginia a better place. I truly want to try to help. I want to represent you full-time in the House of Delegates, and I am open to look at any idea that can help. I am certainly not a single-issue candidate. I am humbled and honored to have received the endorsement of 32 various and diverse groups from across our West Virginia. They vary from teachers and union workers to business groups and are ready to work with me for a better state. I humbly ask that you remember me, Rodney Miller, for House of Delegates, as you cast your vote on the next few days of the election cycle. I am ready to work for you, not against you.
We're ready for our closing remarks, and we discussed it. We're a little bit late getting started, so we'll give each of you up to 5 minutes, but if you can keep it less than that, we would appreciate it. So the floor is open for your closing statements.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, commentators. Thank you, the great people of Boone County. I appreciate you. I love Boone County. You know, the reason I got into this is because I came home from college, and my buddies, all of them doing the same thing, a lot of them. I see a lot of my friends, you know, trying to make better, but don't have the opportunity to do it. I will fight for you every day that I'm in office. And I will take the people's problems up there. I'm self-funding my own campaign. What I get is out of grassroots donations or stuff that I put my hard-earned working money in. Because you know why I do that? Because I don't want some lobbyist telling me what to do and how to serve me. When I go up there, I'm going to have I'm going to have people on my back like you, the hard-working people of Boone County. And I will do everything. Even if I'm not elected, I will do everything to serve you guys because I believe that we need leadership. We need young leadership more than anything. Because we need fresh ideas. We need people that's going to go back for young people. People that's going to go back for senior citizens. People that's going to do things like that. So I just ask you to vote on election day. And my slogan is a better quality of life because I think that's one thing that we need to strive for every day. Thank you. God bless.
Running for assessor for Boone County. It's a return back to who you are. As I said before, all government officials elected to office, they sign a contract. It's a quid pro quo contract. It's lawful, it's binding. When you pay their wages, their benefits, their pensions, their perks, you understand that's binding by law. That means you can own everything they've got. That's exactly what that means. And if you think that borrowing more Federal Reserve notes, you're 19 trillion plus and rising, and that somehow you're magically going to pay that debt off, a Federal Reserve note is a borrowed, interest-bearing. You must pay interest once it's bore to you. You'll never balance your budget. It's impossible. You cannot borrow money to pay your bills with. You must pay your bills. So running as assessor, when you need an answer, and a return back to lawful ownership, we can do that lawfully. We can do that by law. I can tell every one of you with your properties that you got asset value under negotiable instruments law, don't you? Huh? You have asset value in all of your properties. You've upkept it for 30 or 40 years, haven't you? It's worth a little more than what you paid for it, isn't it? So you can return. You don't have to lose. You can go back to being the lawful owner. But as far as trying to balance your budget or borrow your way into success, you're never going to do that. As assessor, if I ever make it there, I'll guarantee you when you walk in there, you will get an answer. You'll get an answer one way or the other. You might not like it, but you will get an answer, and you will be the master, not the servant. Because when I take that oath of office, as an independent, I'm not subject to any party affiliated. The only people I will be subject to is you. And I will uphold that oath. Thank you.
Thank you guys for organizing this. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you all for coming. My name is Michael Moffett. I am current delegate for the 22nd Delegate District, one of two. And there's 4 people running for the race. You can vote for both myself and Zach. It's nice that we both showed up. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to have worked the past 2 years trying to serve people. I think I've done a very good job in being very active in the community and listening to both sides of the issue. Yes, I have a strong conservative values, but I'm willing to listen to other sides. I'm willing to sit down and talk hours and hours and try to find a common solution. I'm very proud that we've had some great accomplishments. I'm proud that just this week in the news you saw that our legislative session was $1 million cheaper than any of the 2 before. We cut our expenses in the legislature by 10%, despite the stories of $600,000 being spent on the budget session. Including that $600,000, we were $1 million cheaper than when the other party was in charge. We're taking some big steps, we're taking some bold steps to change the future of West Virginia. The failed leadership of the past, we cannot return to that. I will tell you that I'm very proud to be endorsed by a number of groups, the West Virginia Farm Bureau, the NRA, West Virginia Citizens Defense League, the Family Policy Council, and some other good, strong organizations that stand for our values. I intend to go to Charleston again and work hard on education issues. Jobs, education, and accountability are what my favorite are. My background is industrial engineering. I've spent my years in manufacturing and improving manufacturing operations. We need someone who has a background in manufacturing to work for us to have that idea, to understand the language that we speak in manufacturing. So I do appreciate you guys coming tonight. I won't take the whole 5 minutes, and you'll have a good night. Drive safe.
Thanks very much. I'll try not to take the 5 minutes. First, I want to speak briefly about a candidate who's not able to be here. He's Dr. Zane Lawhorn, who is a candidate running for the United States House of Representatives in the 3rd Congressional District. Matt is one of his 2 honorable opponents. Dr. Lawhorn is an optometrist, lives in Princeton in Mercer County, had an unavoidable conflict, couldn't be here. He asked me to read a statement. I was trying to find it, but his statement's very brief. He said he's going to be announcing a jobs plan next week, dealing with some of the issues that we've talked about here tonight. And he hopes that you all will hold in abeyance your final determination on your congressional choice to hear what he might have to say and propose next week. So Dr. Zane Lawhorn is the Libertarian candidate running for United States House of Representatives in 3rd District. Now for myself, again, my name is John Buckley. I'm running for Secretary of State. And I'd like to just make a few quick points. It's my pitch for why I think you ought to vote for me. See if it works and when you go vote. One, I've got the credentials. I have a background professionally in law, so I know how to read the election statutes. I think I can do a better job than has been the case in the last couple of years, where the Secretary of State's office has been reversed by the state Supreme Court on election interpretation. 2, I've served in the legislature, and I think I would have the capability of working with the members of the legislature on both sides of the aisle, maybe all 3, but at least both sides of the aisle, to proceed with some election reform. We have a lot of ambiguous statutes, and I think we need kind of a wholesale review of election statutes, and it's up to the legislature to change those laws. And 3, I've got an administrative background. I was the chief administrator of one of the largest federal courts in the nation, comprised of 22 federal judges and an overall staff of 150 people that I had to look out for. Those are the qualifications. On the politics of it, my biggest point that I urge your consideration of is that I'm independent of the 2 major parties that comprise most all of the partisanly elected offices in West Virginia and really across the nation. I think for Secretary of State, that's actually a particular specific strength that I would bring to that office. I've been endorsed by the Charleston Daily Mail, or whatever that's worth to you. It's the first time any Libertarian candidate has been endorsed by any newspaper for any office in West Virginia. So it's a bit of a first, and I think I've added something to the political discussion in my candidacy. I've been involved in politics since I was a freshman in high school. I love this kind of thing, the interplay of issues and discussion and philosophies where people end up agreeing to disagree, and we can be reasonable about it. And when the smoke clears after Election Day, whoever's on the losing side, we hope we're in a system where you say to the winner, good luck, you won fair and square, Godspeed, and if I can do anything to help solve problems, I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that solution. That's what we want out of our political system. Now, one last thing I'll tell you about myself. The Secretary of State, there aren't any real political issues. It's an administrative job. But I think it's important for politicians of any stripe to tell people where they stand on a lot of stuff, just so you kind of have an idea of who we are and what we start out with. And it's all my literature, so it's nothing I'm just telling you and not telling anybody else. I am pro-liberty. That's what libertarian means. It's pro-liberty. Montani semper liberi is the same root Latin word. I'm pro-property rights. I'm pro-gun rights. I'm pro-free enterprise. I'm pro-taxpayer. I'm pro-religious liberty. I'm pro-life. I think all these things together are progress for West Virginia. That's my political outlook. It's something I would bring to bear simply if I had a platform. It's not part of the job of Secretary of State. But I hope you'll consider me. It may be an unusual thing to vote for not a Republican or a Democrat for a major statewide office. But it's about time we had some new points of view, some new perspectives at the seat of state government. And I think I could help bring a lot of folks together in talking about issues on the merits without it being one party versus the other, or one major party versus the other major party. That's my pitch, that's my 2 cents worth, and I hope you will consider me, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
All right, hello again, Lincoln County. My name is Matt Detch, and I am running for the United States Congress. Again, I think I told you a little bit about my background, but I do like to reemphasize that I worked in the United States Secret Service for 4.5 years and 2 different presidents from 2 different parties. And I do believe that that is a testament that I can push beyond party lines to get something done for our country. Now, I'm in this race because I care very, very deeply about the people of Boone County. I care very deeply about the people of our great state of West Virginia, especially the ones down in the southern coal fields that I've seen that are hurting every day. And yes, we do have very, very serious challenges that we are facing. But I have confidence and belief that I know that we can face these things together. But it starts with having a voice in Washington that is going to serve you, that is looking at this as public service and not simply politics as usual. This is a great state. I think that we have potential to do great things. Every day I am reminded that it was a West Virginian that first put rockets into space. It was a West Virginian that's put men on the moon. West Virginians have won Nobel Prizes. It was a West Virginian that was the first to break the sound barrier. This wasn't done through blame and criticism and obstructionism just to be an obstructionist. These are things that are done by what I call the will and that determination of the mountaineer spirit. It is the idea that we as West Virginians